Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, roadies. It is an opposition review. This is the first time we've done this before. We had a preview with Luke Connolly. We have Mr. JP California with us today. From the North End, JP, you and I have been going at it all day today in arguments about what happened at the game at the weekend in regards to some of the fouls that, let's be honest, I think we'll both agree they went both ways, but some of them are considered worse than others, depending on who you talk to. We're going to get into that later, though, so wait till the end of the video. We're going to do about a 20-minute review of what happened about the game and stuff, and we're going to show the video. We're going to get everybody in the comments, if you can, tell us what you think, which ones are fouls. Are we correct in our assessment? Who's right, who's wrong? It's obviously going to be me. This is our channel, so you definitely better pick a Spurs one. But if not, also hop on and give JP the props for thinking he's right. JP, welcome to the channel, buddy. You've been here before, I believe. Maybe
I have.
I think you have.
I think I've been on one other time.
Yeah, you did a preview with me, which was good fun. And welcome back. Good to have you back. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. It's a great day here in southern sunny California. Like nice 71 degrees.
You do this at the beginning of every show.
I do.
About how
it's
good the weather is.
Part of my persona.
Hence the name.
That's the California way of life.
Yeah.
If there's rain and shit, why go outside? Honestly.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. California weather is the weather that I wish I was living in on a regular basis. So completely understand it, and it's why it annoys me so much, because I'm like, stop talking about how good the weather is. I'm gonna be there, by the way, in July for a wedding. So maybe I'll ring you up while we're there.
Yeah. We'll have to do a live.
Yeah, SoCal somewhere. We can argue. Yeah. We can argue live. So the game at the weekend, Spurs smashed you guys 4-0. Luke and I had a preview, as I mentioned, off the top of the show, talking about what we expected to see. Luke was kind of, probably
wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, wrong about some of it, certainly. But he did predict a Spurs win. I think he said 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. So it wasn't too far off on the prediction.
He was not far off, no.
No. You did a 5 things. Hop on over to our sister channel, The North End, where JP is smashing it over there, some Villa content. He did a 5 things he learned from that. So I recommend going over there to get more specific details. But we will talk about some of those details now. First half, JP, you guys were quite good, especially after Spurs scored early. I mean, we scored early, and I thought we were just going to run rampant on you, but that's actually the opposite of what happened. The response from Villa was very good. How did you must have been pretty buzzing when you were seeing how you guys were coming on to us like that?
Yeah, I was super excited, because as soon as we gave up the goal, I got the response that most fans want to see when their team goes down. Yeah. Like if you guys get scored on, you want that type of performance in a first half too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if we ended it after that first half, I was going to say Hugo Lloris was the man of the match. I thought
made 9 saves that first half.
Yeah,
arguably 3 of them were world class. Some of the other ones were a little bit easier because either the finishing was poorer, or it was just from far enough out he was able to get to it. But
100%, I thought the shot that McGinn took on him, while it was a really great save and moving, I thought his snapshot hand reaction to the Ramsey was probably his better save.
That was unreal.
Was a great save.
What a save.
Because that was a high shot too, and he gets his hand up. And honestly, that was Hugo Lloris from 5 years ago.
Not a lot of keepers make that save.
Not a lot of keepers at his age make that save.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, like you said, age-wise, he's up to 34 now. So still, for a keeper, that's a peak age, really. You maybe not as quick though. So from a reflex perspective, but yeah, that was sort of a vintage kind of Lloris quick hand and point blank range too, which was insane.
And I keep an eye on Spurs quite often, and I've felt like Hugo Lloris has been a little bit below his own standard this year. Now, you could correct me and tell me I'm completely bullshit.
I think it is bullshit, but yeah, go on.
But I just feel like he had started to show his age a little bit.
Yeah,
and I felt like he's getting to that point where maybe you guys might want to start looking for somebody in the next year or so.
Well, you saw my pick for a player that I would take from any of the relegated teams, and it was a goalie. So
who was it?
Nick Pope.
Oh, so, yeah, I think that's a bad idea. I don't think he's that good.
Possibly. For me, if he's training under the coaches that Lloris are training under, and he's with Lloris for a year, perhaps he gets himself up to snuff. But I think he's a better goalie for England than their current number 1 at the moment. So, but anyways, point being is that I think many of us, as Spurs fans, recognize we need a new keeper. Where as Lloris has been. The thing about Lloris is that it's not that he's getting old. He's just he's streaky. He's like a striker. He'll have a run of games where he's incredible, and then he'll have 2 or 3 games where he kind of shits the bed a little bit. And you're like, what's happening?
Incredible. He was incredible.
That first half was unreal.
Saturday.
Yeah.
He was the reason why you guys were in the game within a
Well,
shout. He was the reason why you guys exited the first half with the lead, and then he didn't have to do anything in the second half. So that must have been really great for him.
It must have been really great for Spurs. Quickly though, to be fair, and I think this is one of the things you came up with in your 5 things, was that had your finishing also been better, you guys would have been ahead of us. Arguably,
Right.
yeah, Lloris made some saves, but you had some chances you should have put away, no?
As you probably watched, there was that free kick that was a cheeky play where he
brilliant.
just chips it over the wall.
Ings got to put that away.
Danny Ings, who arguably is probably one of the top strikers outside the top 6, probably the best type. Yeah, last year, even in last summer, was the best striker outside the top 6. Missed the ball.
Yeah, whiffed it. I mean, it's a difficult technique, but at that level, you'd expect.
But at that level, I expect him not only to hit it, but to score.
And that wasn't the only one either, right? There was a couple others where there were sort of sitters, and it went right to Lloris. Or you're kind of going, you need to do better at this level to get a win out of that game. To go, arguably, from my opinion, I think Villa should have been up 2-3-1 probably. Right. Would have been fair going in had Lloris not been as good as he was, and you guys maybe had a better finisher up top. It would have been a different game.
There was clearly a tactic that was put in for that first half that I felt did very well.
Yeah.
And then you guys corrected something at halftime.
Yeah, it was the midfield battle. I think you guys were winning it pretty comfortably, and you guys, your press was very good against some of our players who struggle with the press. When Ben Davies gets the ball, get Ben Davies and he'll give the ball away, and that happened a couple of occasions. It happened to Dyer a couple of times. They're usually, or lately, have been pretty good with it, but I think Villa really nailed it. I think the teams who do that really well against Spurs make it really uncomfortable, and that's what we saw in the first half.
It was on really well the first half, but it doesn't matter for any team if you give up the goals that we gave up.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So poor in defense.
Yeah, so let's get to the second half. Spurs go in halftime 1-0 up with a great finish from Sonny. So early in the game that there was no real run of play at this point. It's the third minute that it happened. So just kind of going, Sonny at it again, doing what Sonny does, and of course
God damn it! If it's not him or it's him or Kane, and you guys just.
Well, Decky needs some credit in this. Decky
he played well. He played really well.
Goal and an assist. So
he played really well.
And his finish was. I think would you blame the keeper on his goal, which was the second goal? He kind of cuts inside. He pushes it through, and the keeper's maybe. Do you think he should have got?
I think he definitely should have gotten there. Martinez has given an interview recently where he says when guys shoot through his defense, where there's some guys kind of blocking his vision, he struggles to make the reaction time,
and that's kind of what we saw.
And so that was happening at the beginning of the season. He seemed to be getting better at it, but the last few matches, it seems to be going away again. It just seems like we are giving up super soft goals. I mean, that first goal where Ezri Konsa heads it 2 feet and it lands to Harry Kane. I'm like, what are you doing? Really?
It was a weird one, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can just tell the confidence is really bad. But Harry Kane is just so smart off the ball. In the second half, his movement, which to me was not, it wasn't that good. It was that smart. It wasn't him.
But isn't smart good? Isn't that
no? Because he wasn't like even checking or running at 100%. He was checking and running at 85%, but his movement created the space for other people to get the ball. So he's just like, I just felt like Harry Kane was in first gear. I felt Sonny was in second gear. I felt, what do you call him? Clue?
Decky is Decky or Kulu, but most people call him Decky because Kulu is apparently a swear word in some other language.
So Decky, I felt like he was the hustler. He was running. He was working.
He was, yeah.
Son was hustling and working, and Kane honestly didn't look like he even wanted to be there, honestly. And he
just dictates like that.
I'm going to flick the ball. Son's going to be there like he always is. It was easy for him.
Yeah.
It was just we made
the game is kind of like that for world-class players, though. When they're that good, they look like they're not even trying. And he was amazing. Second half, we spoke about this a little bit too in the WhatsApp. I used the wrong terminology in saying we dominated, but we very much controlled that second half. Yeah, and I think that's the appropriate terminology for sure. Really 3 good goals, but you were talking about the defense, Villa's defense. Konsa has a nightmare. The whole game, he was. You could almost say all 4 goals were kind of him.
Some people are saying that. I'm saying the first 3 goals, 100%, are his fault. which just means that Luke from the North End is the worst luck possible because he said
He
in
was
the
bigging him up,
preview,
wasn't he?
he was
Yeah.
bigging him up,
Yeah.
and he literally shit the bed. He was the worst performer, and for me, you guys got a new manager, and your players are playing well. Like guys that struggle with confidence are clearly playing well. Ben Davies is playing well. Eric Dyer looks like a mammoth of a man. Right?
He's looking like a proper center half now, and he's controlling games. He's communicating really well, and he's not making the errors he used to make. The thing is about Dyer is he'd often play like this, but he would have one or two errors in a game where it would wipe out all the good work he had done in the 80 minutes prior, and he just like shit the bed in the box or
give up a PK,
give up a bad give up a bad foul. He doesn't do that anymore, and I think with Romero beside him doing what Romero does really well, love him or hate him, if he was on your team, you would be like, holy shit, this guy's absolutely fantastic because he just cuts out everything. He just cuts out, and he's very physical. And I think Spurs have needed a player like that in our back line. So the two of them beside each other, Davies getting jobs done, but not like he's still
I've always
one of his
liked
better
him myself, but I understand he's a little streaky.
He's just Davies is reliable more than anything. I think
nicest guy. I met him when he was like 20.
He's a lovely man. He speaks different languages. He reads a lot. He's very well spoken. He'll be a coach probably.
He's very well educated. He seems like he's maybe not introvert, but he seems like he's a guy he's a quiet guy who likes to watch things. He's an
observant guy. It didn't have the best game. Our wingbacks did an okay job until obviously Doherty got injured. We're going to get into that. That's part of the conversation later. Both teams out with a couple of players who are good form for either team. That it's disappointing that happens, but it does happen. It's a physical game.
Speaking, let's go back for a quick second.
Speaking of
that streakiness and how your coach, who's a top coach, right? He is one of the top 5 coaches in the world, I would say right now.
Yeah, you can see the difference too, right?
That's the difference, right? He made tactical change to win the game and to settle everything down. He made tactical changes that nullified Villa in the second half. And since he's come in, he's been able to get performances from players that are streaky before, who are now starting to just get confident so they can stay at a better level than they were. And this is one of my giant kind of gripes so far about Steven Gerrard is it seems like I'm
glad you're asking or bringing that up because I was going to bring up Gerrard and ask you because I talked to Luke about it and he was kind of a bit wishy-washy, but it's still early. It's hard. It's still hard to tell.
He's only had 23 games in charge.
Yeah.
But some of the guys who are confidence builders and need some of that are really struggling. Guys like Tyrone Mings, Ezri Konsa, Watkins, even John McGinn, who I feel is one of our best players, has been subpar for many matches now. And,
what do you think it is that Gerrard's not doing or doing that? Is it he thinks his players are, and I think this is what happens to Lampard as well, and what is currently happening to Lampard at Everton. He doesn't have players that are smart enough to do the things he wants them to do currently, like the whole squad. There's a few of them that are, and I think even Conte struggled with this, but Conte is a better manager and is able to get that out of some of the players that aren't as good. It seems to me like what he's trying to do tactically, he doesn't necessarily have the squad to do tactically. Now, I that's just from what I've watched. I haven't watched enough either, but
I would argue a little bit of yes and no. He clearly needs some guys. He's only brought in 2 of his own players, being Coutinho and Luka Dean. Luka Dean was not a guy he probably had on his list, but Everton decided they want to sell, and who the hell wouldn't take Luka Dean?
Yeah, he's a brilliant player.
He's brilliant, and I think the style is starting to come good. Like I feel like it's looking better and better,
especially that first half.
That first half was kind of how he wants to play, but the second half was also the problem in that it shows that he's a little naive as a coach still. I think he was slow on his substitutions. I think he should have made his substitutions right after that second goal. Honestly, he should have been like, nope, all right, Ezri, you're out.
Arguably he doesn't know what Conte did because Conte's shape didn't change, but the way the players dealt with the shape changed.
Off the ball and their cover for each other changed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was something like a minor tweak that a very good manager makes, and maybe a naive, as you said, manager like Gerrard is kind of going, what did he fucking do? Because it's something, it took him a while to kind of get there.
And I think he's not getting some of the best of his players because of the comments he's dropping, both post game and pre-game. Before the game, he gave a pre-match interview type thing where he basically said that Tyrone Mings might not be his captain next year because he's not the guy he would have chosen, and he might bring in people to be the captain. And I'm like, why would you say that before a match?
Yeah, that's
Like,
really
that's
a
not
strange thing to say for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. And then for the past few games, he said, "Well, if guys aren't up to the standard, we're shipping it." Like, and he's saying this very harshly. He's like, "We're shipping them out. The guys that aren't understanding, they're gone. They're not going to be playing." And it seems like he's starting to already make like a little bit of a bomb squad. And it's like you're doing this very quick. Like you could have not said anything until the summer. Taken, managers usually take the flack for some of the bad performances. He seems like he's willing to just put it right on the players. Like they
Yeah,
need to step up or they need to get the fuck out.
he's right,
And
but
he is right, but that's not how a manager should come off.
yeah, I agree, and I think especially in middle of a season when you're sort of just trying to figure
And
things
you're
out.
out 3 or 4 losses in a row,
Yeah,
you might wanna protect him a little bit.
yeah, and you also need to take some personal responsibility. I think, like part of the
Mhm.
reason you're there is because of the decisions you've made as a manager. Throwing the players under the bus completely, you need to say, some of the players aren't playing up to the level we want to play at. I'm also not. Maybe I've made some errors in coach. Like make it a full team kind of thing
Yeah,
that's
like
happening.
Conte, like the one that I just keeps coming back into my head was Conte saying, "I'm not used to fighting for a top 4. Like I'm always used to fighting for titles." Like that comment isn't aimed at his players, it's aimed at
Yeah.
him not being good enough. But in reality, let's be fair, he probably is super convinced he is the right man for the job.
Oh, for sure he
If
is.
you're a
Yeah.
manager, your
Yeah.
confidence is skyrocketing, you're an
Especially like him.
egomaniac.
I mean, he
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
wins everywhere he goes.
He's
Like,
an
and recently
egomaniac.
too. Not like Mourinho won everywhere he went. He's literally like just came
He's
off the
literally yeah,
Serie
yeah.
A title. So
So
you're
he
talking about
knows he's good enough, but he doesn't want to say that some of the players he has isn't good enough, or he's not
he words
gotten
it
enough
very
guys in.
very carefully for sure.
Yeah, yeah, he's smart, and he doesn't. I mean, he was repeating it a little bit of like, "Hey, we need more guys," but he's not saying how much his players suck.
Yeah, he's saying
Steven,
we want to reinforce the squad, and it's a
yeah,
it's a it's a
Steven Gerrard
squad
is basically saying 5 guys suck, and they're
under the
ruining us.
bus. Yeah, and it's your
Yeah, yeah,
defense too, and that's a tough one because and your captain in that defense.
it's
It's got to be a little bit
I
painful
don't want to.
from his
We're
perspective.
making bad mistakes, but like Ezri Konsa has done it all season. Tyrone Mings makes the odd occasional one. Matty Cash has been really good.
Hmm.
Luka Dean has been really good, but he's constantly getting injured. Ashley Young has really struggled.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the defense. Honestly, a lot of Villa fans will point to the midfield quite a bit.
Is it? Would you say defensive midfield? Because I feel like
I would, yeah,
that's
100%.
somewhere where you guys were lacking. I think when it came to
We've tried to get one now for 3 years, and we
yeah.
haven't gotten somebody. And so I expect us to spend pretty heavily in the summer to get somebody like a Basuma, maybe not a Calvin Phillips, although that's what the media is. I
I
don't think
think
we're
he's a
going to
good
spend.
player, Calvin Phillips. I'd
I think
take
he's
him
a
in a
great
second.
player, but I don't think Villa will spend 60 million on a player like that.
Is
You
he?
guys might.
Is that how
That's what's the
much?
quotes. I don't think he's worth that. I think he's honestly worth about 45 or 50 because he just
Yeah,
got off a long injury.
that's where I'd put it too. He's
But
been out for a while. He had a good season last season and
there's a few guys
good
around.
Euros.
There's that Boubacar, um, Kamara over in Marseille. There's a few guys in Germany, but we'll see. I think Villa will spend another 75 to 100 million this summer, so we'll see.
Yeah, so yeah, and you guys got the money to do it, right? That there's some
Yeah,
backing there, and there'll be money spent. It'll
especially
be
for Stevie G.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Stevie G obviously makes it through the season. You guys are staying up. What would you consider?
Well, I don't know, man. We've lost more games under him than we've won or tied combined. His win percentage rating is actually lower than Frank Lampard's right now.
Ouch, that's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah,
So
wow,
it's
I didn't
lower than
realize
Frank
that.
Lampard at Everton. He's got Burnley and Norwich in the final 7 game run in. I think he has to win 2 of those, and he has 2 games against Leicester. I think he has to win one of those. So I'm going to say he needs to win 3 out of the 7 remaining games to give himself that cushion into the
You
summer.
don't
So we'll
think
see.
though the ownership at Villa is going to say, you know what, he came in mid-season, we're going to give him the summer, we're going to give him some players, despite what his record was, and let him do what he wants to do. And then if you go into next season and you're kind of in the same form, you go, okay, we need to look at another manager. That's
But do
likely, I
you?
think, what we'll see.
I mean, I think that's the normal ideology of like, hey, he clearly doesn't have his guys. But with us spending 100 million last summer, 120 million this summer before, him coming in midseason, I believe the return should have been better even with who he's gotten because the team, as we've seen, is better than what we're performing at right now. We are better than that second half performance.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
You are as good as the first half performance.
yeah,
It's just
you flip a coin.
putting the two halves together.
Yeah,
And
we've
that's
really
been
struggled with
something.
that.
Even I remember Luke talking about that early in the season when he was talking about the inconsistency from one half to the next.
Yeah,
Whether it was the first or the second, it was always one half was really good and the other one was shit. And it depended on the game, but it was kind of always the case.
and I would say that was kind of evident in the game, not just for us, but for you guys. I felt like your first half wasn't shit. We were really good, and you guys attacked well.
We defended well, and we responded. We
Yeah,
counterattacked well. Yeah,
but then the second half, you guys flipped the switch, and you guys were 110% on.
Yeah,
Like if you guys were a 75 in the first half, you guys were 100% in the second half. You nullified everything.
Yeah,
You shut down everything on Villa. You and then you countered like fucking demons.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing really well. Like the goal scoring at Spurs right now is absurd.
Unreal.
Most goals scored out of any team, I think, in 2022 in the Premier League at the moment, on 33 goals scored since January. It's absurd, and it's wonderful. Because if you think about the beginning of the season, how we started it under Nuno, we had the lowest amount of shots on goal, the lowest amount of touches in the opposition.
I know. I want you to go back to that.
It was so bad that I was like, where are we going this season? But Conte, and like we said, we can say it over and over again. Wonderful manager, wonderful result for Spurs. Obviously for Villa, I think you got to try to take the best out of that, which was that first half, and hopefully apply it to games going forward. If you play like that against any other team in the league, you'll give them trouble. Again, it's keeping it that going for an entire game rather than for half of it.
If we could get it for 75 minutes, I think we'd win. Beat anybody in a half team.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get back to the game here, and we're gonna now talk. We're gonna talk about the fouls. You and I have been arguing all day today about what fouls are fouls and what is. And so I want to preface this with somebody who's
a Tottenham channel, and these are all Tottenham.
No, not preface like that at all. I want to know if you're a referee out there and you understand this rule. Let us know what the actual rule is. My understanding of the rule is, and this is based on playing my entire life, and my brother was a referee for a long time. You can foul somebody even if you touch the ball. So even if you touch it first. So in many of these cases, I think that was one of your arguments. There was multiple arguments because there's multiple fouls. But I don't think it's not a foul just because you get the ball first. I think that's a fallacy in understanding what the rule is. Now, if there's a referee out there who can define it for us and explain it, come on the show or get it in the comments. Let us know what you think, because it's an ongoing argument. It's an argument I'm having with other people on a Spurs page as well. Which
let me critique this, because I do believe if you get the ball first, you can still foul somebody. I am going to say that.
No, because you argued you couldn't.
But I'm arguing that most of these are not fouls, not just because he won the ball, but because it was played for the ball. These are not fouls because he wins the ball, but he plays the guy like he's playing the man, not the ball. Like even if he wins the ball first, I'm saying he plays the ball first and he played the ball. That's what he was going for.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't really tell what he's going for. That's what you think he's going for by looking at it. Right, but we've got a video here. So we've got a video here. This was part of the argument, so I'm going to share my screen right now.
We're going to go through each foul and just say foul or no foul as they go by?
Yeah, you could just say it out loud, and I'll do the same. So you'll just go yay or nay, and I'll say yay or nay. Doesn't matter if we say it at the same time. You should be able to understand what's going on. And we will, we'll share it. It's
foul, not a foul.
20 second long video.
Right,
this is where part of the argument was happening on Facebook today, and I was just kind of like, I gotta show this to you guys.
It's funny.
It is funny. It's a good laugh. So we'll just drag this back here, and this is from the top. So it's about 34 seconds, and let's go.
Okay.
Foul.
Not a foul. Bad touch. Wins the ball.
Foul.
Plays the ball.
Late.
Not a foul.
Takes his legs out.
Not a foul. Wins the ball.
Foul.
This foul. 100% and a card, honestly.
This is not a foul.
Not a foul in me.
No, not at all. Doesn't even take his body. Doesn't touch him at all.
Not a foul.
I remember saying that during the game. This one doesn't look like a foul to me either. Gets the ball.
This one to me is
it's a strong tackle
than the first two.
He stays on his feet. Not a foul.
That one I would see.
He drags him and touch.
So he was going to call it, but he plays on. This is a foul.
Obviously a foul. Yeah.
And Harry Kane does the same thing 5 minutes later to Douglas Luiz or somebody else.
Yeah, I know. You're stuck on that happens, and that's fair. That's true. So, in the comments, when you watch this, please get in there.
Referees, get at us.
Oh yeah, get us. Somebody let us know what's going on, because we need to find out. Sorry, there's something playing in the background here. I just want to get rid of that. We want to find out what other people think in our comments, and then of course, in just a referee would be wonderful to find out what you think of what we spoke about at the beginning of that. But yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. Always great to have you on here. Hopefully, this argument will get won. We are on the North End tomorrow night, so if you're watching this, tune in tomorrow to the North End, 8 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be what is
5 p.m. Pacific,
5 p.m.
Eastern,
1 a.m. GMT, I believe.
1 a.m. England.
Yeah, so if you're up at 1, watch it. If not, watch it tomorrow. But we're going to get this out momentarily, so hopefully folks will get a chance to see this and then watch the pod tomorrow night.
By the way, I got to give a shout out, Bob. Big Bob, man. I hope you're doing well, dude.
He's doing very well, man. His channel's going again. He's got his In the Wall show going on his channel. It's really quite fantastic. Difficult for him, but it's good to see him doing well. He's filled out a little bit and he's speaking well. And back to the piss off Bob that we're used to. So good to have back. But yeah, thanks again, JP. We will see you tomorrow. I'm going to now play a word from our sponsor. See you soon. Have a good one.
Support for Tottenham On Tour is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TIDYTOT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. So if you're like me and you like to keep your junk tidy, this is the package for you. Ever get a cut on the nut? Or maybe you're like Daigle, you struggle to hear? For us, these tools help manage something we all struggle with in some way. My girlfriend's pretty pleased with the results, let me tell you. It's been quite good. Performance Package 4.0 by Manscaped has arrived. It arrived a couple weeks ago for us, some of us at different times, and it's been a game changer for me. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 and the nose hair trimmer, crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, which are fantastic, incredibly comfortable, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. First off, the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say the greatest ball trimmer ever. It's the 4th generation trimmer featuring a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof as well and is also has a 400K LED spotlight you need for a more precise shave. Incredibly useful, let me tell you, in certain situations. Because this trimmer is waterproof, you can say goodbye to the mess in the bathroom floor as well. You thought that was good, of course, but you want to take your grooming to the next level, and Brian will. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker nose and ear trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof as well, which provides proprietary skin-safe technology too, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. Their crop trimmer ball deodorant and crop reviver ball toner, which change the way you approach your hygiene routine. Trust me, when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts in the Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag, which is fantastic. Bring your comfort in boxers to another level. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code TIDYTOT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code TIDYTOT. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Tottenham On Tour.